June is always an interesting month on social media because it involves people tripping over themselves to virtue signal over Pride Month. And in this case, Lynda Carter, who famously played Wonder Woman, was doing just that, but she took it to the next level for some reason, claiming that not only is Wonder Woman a queer icon, but also a trans icon for some reason. And if you don't agree, you're just not paying any attention. You can see the headline, Pride Month. Lynda Carter says if you don't think Wonder Woman was a trans icon, you missed the point. Now, if you want to sit there and you want to say that Wonder Woman is a lesbian icon or something like that, I guess you might have a point, even though it wasn't until 2016 where they officially started to introduce homosexual relationships for Wonder Woman in DC Comics when they started virtue signaling, but at least then you'd be somewhat accurate. But in what universe is Wonder Woman a trans icon? That's the question a lot of people were asking, and I want to head over to Bounding Into Comics for this article. Wonder Woman actress Lynda Carter recently took to Twitter to claim the character she played in a 1970s TV series is a queer and transgender icon. And let's be very clear about something. When Lynda Carter played this character, it wasn't any sort of queer or transgender icon. Canonically, Wonder Woman was in love with Steve Trevor. Canonically, Wonder Woman was attracted to men. Now again, DC Comics has changed that in recent years, just like they are changing it with, Superman's son, John Kent, just like they're changing it with Bruce Wayne, apparently, but we know what the original intention of this character was. Carter wrote on Twitter, I didn't write Wonder Woman, but if you want to argue that she's somehow not a queer or trans icon, then you're not paying attention. Every time someone comes up to me and says Wonder Woman helped them while they were closeted, it reminds me of how special the role is. It is one thing to have a character that people can identify with, but to somehow say that because some trans people liked Wonder Woman, that makes them an icon, that's interesting. That's very interesting to me because that essentially opens the door for any single character in cinematic or comic book history to be a trans icon if a couple transgender people like the character or identify with the character. Very, very weird from Lynda Carter, but again, this is what Pride Month has become. June, as soon as it hits, people hit social media to try to virtue signal about something. And in a follow-up tweet, Lynda Carter says this, love seeing all the love from the LGBTQ+ fans today. Now here's one I call the ready to fight your homophobic relatives pose. Just kidding, or am I? Haha, yes, so funny. Look, I'm ready to fight all your relatives who don't agree with your lifestyle. Again, very strange way to virtue signal. But that's what blue check marks, that's what corporations do during the entire month of June. And then Bounding Into Comics does a great job of explaining how there's no possible way that it really makes sense for her to say that her character meant that to people. In Wonder Woman's first appearance in All-Star Comics, it's revealed she's in love with Steve Trevor, a man who crash lands on the island that would be known as Themyscira. We know how all of that works. Wonder Woman's primary love interest moving forward would be Steve Trevor. However, she had dalliances with Batman and Superman, as well as the vigilante nemesis and human rights activist Trevor Barnes. It wasn't until 2016 when DC Comics writer Greg Rucka claimed in an interview with Comicosity that Wonder Woman was queer. When asked if she was queer, Rucka did kind of respond and ask, how do you define that? Rucka says, then yes. Now, are we saying Diana has been in love and had relationships with women? The answer is yes. And it needs to be yes for a number of reasons, but perhaps foremost among them, if no, then she leaves Paradise only because of a potential romantic relationship with Steve Trevor, and that diminishes her character. So that's the first time, 2016, when we heard anyone associated with DC Comics actually say that. And then, of course, she's been in a number of different relationships since then, usually not in the, throughout the multiverse as opposed to in mainline DC storytelling, but still, they've thrown it in there a lot. We know that last year at some point, they introduced a trans character, I think named Bia or something that we talked about that everyone praised, but evidently did not sell at all. No one actually cared about what happened. But the idea that in the 70s, when this was played, that's how people looked at this character as a trans icon is absolute and total lunacy. It's virtue signaling from Lynda Carter. which is what Pride Month ultimately is all about. Virtue signals from corporations and virtue signals from blue checkmark elites. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.